Liam Lawson, the rookie many believed was Red Bull's next big star, has just thrown a grenade into the Formula One world. After being ruthlessly dropped just 2 races into 2025, Lawson isn't holding back anymore. He's blasting Red Bull, and even Max Verstappen isn't safe from the heat. This isn't clickbait, this is the real fallout. Stay tuned as we break down exactly what Lawson said, why it matters, and how it could shake up Red Bull's future. Formula One's most controversial driver shuffle has just reignited. Liam Lawson, who was brutally cut from Red Bull's main team after only 2 starts, is back in the headlines, this time for calling out the team that abandoned him and the superstar who overshadowed him. Lawson's explosive comments have stunned fans and reopened the debate about Red Bull's ruthless culture. Liam Lawson blasts Verstappen and Red Bull, confirmed, and we're diving straight in. The drop that shook F1. Liam Lawson's season began with a major shock. After just 2 Grand Prix weekends, Australia and China, Red Bull pulled the plug. He was replaced mid-season by Yuki Tsunoda and sent back to the Junior Racing Bulls team. Brutal? Absolutely. But what followed was even more jaw-dropping. Lawson's promotion was supposed to be the real deal. He'd performed solidly in junior categories. Yet at the Australian GP, he crashed. In China, he finished 12th. No points, no momentum. Red Bull dropped him, labeling it a purely sporting decision. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen, his then teammate, didn't stay silent. He liked a social media post calling the move closer to bullying or a panic move. Red Bull insisted it was about performance and championships, but fans smelled controversy. For many, it felt like déjà vu. Red Bull has a reputation for cutting drivers quickly. Just ask Daniil Kvyat, Pierre Gasly, or Alex Albon, all victims of the same ruthless cycle. Critics argued that Lawson was never given a fair shot. 2 races on unfamiliar circuits under immense pressure was hardly the proving ground for a rookie. Fans on social media exploded with frustration, accusing Red Bull of valuing instant results over long-term growth. And the worst part? Lawson himself admitted later that he found out about his demotion in the coldest way possible, through management briefings, not a face-to-face talk. The whole saga left a bitter taste in the paddock and set the stage for Lawson's fiery response. How it started and why Lawson's fury is real. Here's where it gets explosive. Lawson didn't just go quietly. He's now blasting the team publicly for putting him in the deep end without proper prep. In an interview with Racing News 365, Lawson didn't hold back. He pointed to the lack of preparation, no test days, 2 races on tracks never raced before, and reliability issues from the get-go in Bahrain testing and then in qualifying races. He said, "If you look at how other teams are, test days, the time in the seat. We didn't do any of that." He blamed exposure to failure, not his skill, to the team's rushed decision. And the flame-throwing didn't stop there. Lawson went further, saying the whole experience felt like being set up to fail, a brutal assessment that struck an emotion with fans who had watched the chaos unfold. He highlighted how other rookies, like Oscar Piastri and Logan Sargent, had been given months of simulator work and extensive test sessions before their debuts, while he was thrown straight into the fire with minimal prep. The comparison painted Red Bull's treatment as careless at best and deliberately ruthless at worst. Insiders suggested Lawson's frustration wasn't just about racing, but also about the psychological toll. Being judged against Max Verstappen after only 2 weekends was an impossible measuring stick. His honesty cut through the usual PR filters, and many felt it exposed the darker side of Red Bull's sink or swim philosophy. What was meant to be his big chance had turned into a cautionary tale, and Lawson wasn't afraid to say it out loud. The Dominator, Verstappen's shadow. Meanwhile, Max Verstappen, Red Bull's golden boy, continues dominating. With 187 of Red Bull's 194 team points by the summer break, he's made his teammates Lawson and Tsunoda look like second-class drivers, says a former F1 driver. That's harsh, but also highlights the pressure cooker situation Lawson stepped into. In fact, analysis suggests Verstappen excels where others hesitate. He drives at the limit, but not over it. Lawson and Tsunoda, not so lucky, slightly under or over that sweet spot, and the RB21 car punishes them. Experts have pointed out that Verstappen's ability to consistently extract pace from a car with such a narrow operating window is what separates him from the rest. While Lawson and Tsunoda appeared unpredictable in the same machinery, Verstappen looked untouchable, masking the car's weaknesses and exaggerating his teammates' struggles. This created the perception that Lawson simply wasn't good enough, when in reality, very few drivers on the grid could survive under Verstappen's shadow. The brutal contrast only fueled Lawson's frustration because instead of being judged on rookie progress, he was judged against one of the most dominant drivers in F1 history. The return fight, Lawson's redemption arc. But here's the plot twist. Lawson didn't collapse under pressure. He came back swinging. Back at Racing Bulls, Lawson's form surged. He scored points in 3 of the next 4 races with a standout drive in Hungary, where he finished ahead of Verstappen himself, riding a one-stop strategy while Max struggled and was called an indignity by pundit Martin Brundle. Suddenly, Lawson looked like a reborn force, rising above the team decision that cut him down. What made these results even more impressive was the context. Lawson was driving machinery far less competitive than Verstappen's RB21, yet he managed to squeeze performances out of it that shocked even seasoned analysts. His calm under pressure and calculated racecraft signaled that he wasn't just surviving, he was evolving. Each overtake and every point scored became a statement, a message to Red Bull that their quick dismissal may have been a colossal mistake. Fans began to rally behind him, painting Lawson as the underdog hero fighting back against the system that underestimated him. Public support and internal strain. Public opinion piled on. Many questioned Red Bull's ruthless driver shuffling strategy, highlighting the long-term toll on driver morale and performance. Meanwhile, Lawson's critics faced shock. Here was a driver outdriving his replacement, yet sidelined, and the friction was real. Verstappen's social media like of the post calling Lawson's drop bullying underlined internal disagreements. It wasn't just drama, it was the team's direction versus individual firepower. The 2026 race seat's still up for grabs. And this is where it gets truly dramatic, because the story isn't finished. As we look ahead to 2026, the driver market is chaotic. Red Bull's second seat could still change, with Sergio Perez's future hanging by a thread and Lawson refusing to fade into the shadows. His strong performances in Super Formula and flashes in F1 make him a wildcard candidate if Red Bull decides to reset its strategy. Even Helmut Marko hinted in cryptic remarks that nothing is permanent in F1, especially when young talent is knocking. Rival teams are circling too. Williams, Haas, even Sauber could make Lawson their star for the new regulations era, knowing a Verstappen-dominated Red Bull leaves little breathing room. Suddenly, Lawson isn't just fighting for a seat, he's fighting for his career's entire direction. So here we are, the moment the F1 world didn't see coming. Liam Lawson, no longer just the polite junior, but the outspoken challenger, has thrown his words directly at Verstappen and Red Bull. And whether you agree with him or not, his message is clear. This fight is only just beginning. This isn't just about one driver versus another, it's about the balance of power inside one of the greatest teams Formula One has ever seen. The fallout from Lawson's blast will ripple through the paddock for months to come, and Red Bull can't ignore it anymore. The fans are watching, the media is circling, and the drivers themselves know the gloves are finally off. And now, we want to hear from you. Do you think Liam Lawson has a point, or is he just trying to stir the pot against an unstoppable Verstappen? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, share this with a fellow F1 fan who needs to hear it, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss the next big twist in this Red Bull drama. Trust me, it's only going to get wilder from here.